just a good old boy.
Hey y'all, let's see. I guess I can't really say morning because it ain't morning, it's afternoon. It's around lunchtime right now. But we are getting hay up. These are all baled. Oh, let me get this thing still for y'all. These are all baled with the Klaus. This whole field was baled with the Klaus a couple weeks ago. I was baling somewhere else with a Ferguson, so Dad baled all these. There's right at 200 bales here we've got to get out. They've been sitting here for a couple weeks. It's rained on them, so that's why they look brown. But it was pretty decent hay, believe it or not, when we baled it, which it's still good hay once you cut it open and get in the inside of it. It's still pretty decent hay. But he's loading with a 4710, and I'm driving the red and black truck. This truck, waiting on him to get over here. This truck has done a really good job for us. The only thing I got to do is that 96 12 valve that was the donor truck for the white 24 valve that we wrecked. It's the same model as this one, but it's just a single cab 2-door, but it has the helper springs under it for the rear end. This truck here does not have helper springs. I'm planning on taking those helper springs off of that one and putting them on this one, and getting that off of it, because the only thing about this truck is when you get a load on it with a goose stack, it squats real bad because it doesn't have them. That's the only thing with this one compared to the other ones. The other ones we have all have helper springs, and both of those, the red one, 2-door red one's a 2000 model, and the white one that we got wrecked and we rebuilt it is a 02. Is the last year they built that body style in the 1-tons. Both of those actually have heavier springs than these older trucks did in the rear end. A lot of cow hay, a lot of junk hay. It's really only good for mulch. There ain't a lot of feed quality in it this year. I've got tons of that good quality hay I don't have a lot of. It's just, I know I've talked about it a little bit before, let y'all watch him, but it's just been a hell of a year for trying to get up good hay, and it's gonna hurt at the end of the year. I know it is, but it is what it is. I'll go over, do the yearly end video of how everything went this year with the farm. If you haven't figured it out yet, this tractor seems to be everybody's favorite tractor to run, outside of probably my grandpa, and that's because we generally don't let him on it. But everybody likes to run this tractor for whatever reason. It's just, I love using it for loader work. I love using it to mow hay with. I like fluffing hay with it. I mean, there's not anything I haven't done with it that I don't like to use it for. Dad likes to bale hay with it. I haven't baled a whole lot of hay with it. I have some, but I haven't done near as much as he has. He really likes baling hay with it, and I don't know, it's getting we're putting a lot of hours on this thing, and I don't really want to have to wear it out or put too many on it too quick and wear it out in the next 7 or 8 years and have to go get another one. I generally we try to sell ours around 4,500, 5,000 hours. I generally don't like to keep one longer than that. I know there's a lot of people buys tractors that's got 9,000 hours on them, 7,000 or 8,000 hours. All you're buying is somebody else's headaches. I don't care if it's a deer or what it is. At that point, if they have not already been gone into and had a lot of major work done, they're going to have some sort of major work done, because parts wear out. The clutches go out in these transmissions, different things like that. at that point, and they need to be replaced. That's a lot of engine hours, a lot of beating and banging going across the ground, especially where we live, as rough as the ground is. I mean, it's straight down there and then it goes back up, and it's that way all the way on this place. I mean, you go straight down in that hole there and back up, and the ground's not smooth where we're at all. And I generally try to get rid of that, and if you keep them longer than that, the trade value on them drastically drops. There's not a lot left there as far as trade-in value onto a new one. So I don't know. This one in the McCormick's probably got the most hours this year, because we've kept the McCormick on the mower and it hasn't given trouble to this point running it. So that's probably the two with the most hours on them as far as this year's went. The 5400 I've really backed off. I was putting 400 or 500 hours a year on that tractor, and I backed way off on it. Now I pretty well just use it for baling, and that's it, which it gets a lot of hours just baling. I don't want to wear that tractor out. I would rather wear this one out, go buy another one of these or another Global Series maybe that's bigger, than wear that 5400 out. Because the thing is, that 5400, it has no emissions, it has no tier 3 engine tuning on it. It's one of the rare 5400s with a Dyna4 that had zero tuning or anything done, because there for a long time there was such a thing as tier 3 emissions before tier 4, and they had to tune the engines differently, and it made them less efficient, and it really hurt the power output on a lot of the tractors back in the late 2000s. And it was one of the rare 08s that was not tier 3 compliant with the Dyna4. Before that, they didn't have the Dyna4 in them. They called it something else. I forget what it was, but it worked a little differently than the T-handle Dyna4 that's in that tractor. And that tractor to me is irreplaceable because of that. And I don't want to wear out one that don't have emissions on it, that has a Dyna4 transmission and everything else. That tractor, if I replaced it with a new one, that is the S model, is what its comparison would be. In that tractor would be a 5000 S model, so it'd be a 5700 S. And in the size that I would need, it has the fuel turned up on it, so in the size I would need to replace it, the tractor in an S that it would be, if I bought one, would be a 12 or 13. You're looking at probably $90,000 to buy a new one. And versus one of these 4710s, you're in the mid 50s. So huge difference in price. And this is a 4000 series tractor, which a lot of the companies don't even make a 4000 series anymore. I think New Holland and Case is one of the only ones that make a 4000 now. A lot of them went to making an Econoline 5000 series tractor, like a E series John Deere, or I don't remember, there was a D for a while, and then they went to the E. And then Kubota makes an Economy Line 5000 series. They're basically these tractors but badged a 5000 series tractor, and but they're really 4 series. I don't know why they quit making a 4 series, but they're not built as heavy. Really, in some cases, some of the other tractor brands, not really particularly pointing out John Deere or Kubota, but in their 5000 series isn't as heavy as their Massey's 4000 series. So and then they cost a little more too. But I mean, for what that tractor is and what we've been doing with it, it does a good job for the money. You can buy, I think it's 5000 Global Series, which is the same tractor, but it has a 4-cylinder engine in it, and a few other things that are a little bit heavier and a little bit different on them. And they're about, I think they run in the 60s is where they're at. I haven't priced them in a long time, so don't quote me on those prices, but in our area that's what they were bringing around. I don't know what they're bringing right now. They may have went down, they could have went up. Who knows the way ag's economy is right now. I don't really know. I hadn't priced anything in a while. I don't really. So we're in the loader. I'm gonna try this. And hopefully y'all can hear me. This thing's loud, so it depends on what mic I've got. I got my normal mic, which works really well. I haven't ever used it in this thing, so we'll see how it works. I don't have my headset today, which works really good in here, but I don't have it with me, so we'll see if this works or not. Hopefully it will. In case you're wondering, her dad swapped with me. I got the all-one load with a 16 bale load. My grandpa pre-stacked all the hay one day over there in the rows, and they only have 16 bales to a row. Well, this trailer holds 20, so you have to tote 4 rolls of hay from the pre-stack group, from another pre-stack group, to fill it out. So he got the 16 bale trailer, and I got stuck with the 20 bale trailer. So now I've got to tote hay. Watching Cotton Top today cut up a tree, and I've been doing firewood lately, cutting up a lot of down trees, and man, he had a job with a tree. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out. It was on the side of a hill, which by the time this comes out, it'd probably be 7 or 8 videos deep. But it was on the side of a hill, and it was suspended up in the air by the limbs on the tree. It was leaning, there was pressure downhill from the tree falling downhill. Then the trunk, or the stump, was pulling it an equal amount of pressure back the other way. And every time he would try to cut the top or the bottom, it would try to pinch the saw. I could not imagine a more frustrating, aggravating scenario to try to cut a tree up, to get it on the ground, or get it down to the ground where you could actually cut it up the way you should, than what he was in. I mean, it was just the worst case scenario, period. He did a hell of a job cutting that tree up. I mean, a hell of a job. I would have pinched that's one of the few times I've ever seen him pinch a saw and have to work to get it out. If that would have been me, I'd have got my saw hung in like 2 seconds. And probably would have had every saw we own hung up in a tree trying to get it out. I would have just left the thing there and let it rot. But I guess the people that owned the property wanted it out or something. Maybe he just wanted to cut it up for video. I don't know. But hell, it was I gotta give it to him. He did a hell of a job with that one. I keep wanting to buy me a limbing saw. I need one bad, where I'm doing firewood and stuff and cutting these trees up. It's nice to have a limbing saw. I've been using my pole saw, my DeWalt pole saw, to live with, and it does pretty good. I like to use it on the higher stuff, but when you get down lower, the 55 or saw that I have, it's a heavy saw, and it can, it's a little bit too stuff like that, doing that, have different jobs and stuff. So I've been wanting to go get one, but I don't know, you know, I may wait because it'll probably be next fall before I do any more firewood. About got all I need for now. I may wait to go to the expo next year. If he's there at the Husqvarna booth, maybe we can do a collaborative video again, and maybe I can get him to show me different good lemon saws that Husqvarna has, because if I buy one, it's going to be a Husqvarna. That's what I like to run. That's what we've always really run. I like the RPMs that the Husqvarna saws have versus the Stills, and the way they run a little better. There's nothing wrong with a Stihl saw, don't get me wrong, but I just have a preference of the Husqvarna saws. So, or a Johnson, which is what I have, it's the Husqvarna. I may try to do something like that and buy one at the expo. Maybe that'd be something fun we could do. Maybe try to make a video then, or if he's there, I can talk him into doing one with me, because we did do a video and the audio was terrible. I lost part of it. It just was not what I was looking for in a video whatsoever. And I had done a whole lot of interviews with other YouTubers, so I was a little bit out of my element too. He's obviously done a lot, and it was not the video I was hoping for. Anyway, so maybe we can do another one or something, and we can go over some of the saws. I think that would be something a lot of my viewers would be interested in, is just talking about the saws, because I've always been real technical with stuff and just did a lot of reviews on different products that I've bought, and that kind of goes along more with what my channel does in some ways with stuff. So I think that would be cool to ask him what's his favorite limbing saw that Husqvarna has, why, and what would best fit my needs, and then maybe buy one to go along with it. So we'll see. I'm already thinking about the expo next year. I really miss going to that expo this year. I was not intending on going, period, even if they had it, just because of we just had the twins this year and everything. It had nothing to do with COVID. This was my plan. I even mentioned it last year, before COVID was even known, that I was probably not going to be going to the show this year, just because I knew me and my wife were expecting twins, and it was going to be a lot for me to have to try to go. And if I went, I was probably going to go by myself without her. And me and her always really enjoy going to that show. And I may do it a little bit different than I've been at next year if I do go. Probably going to focus more on maybe doing meet and greet for a little while at the AGCO booth, and then the rest of the time I'm just going to walk around, and me and her's going to check out some things that we've been wanting to look at that I never really have time to look at. I don't know, we might try to do 2 days. We might try to do one. She really wants to go look at the livestock sectors and the equine, the sheepdogs, which is something I've been wanting to watch, the sheepdog competitions for a long time, and I never have time to sit down and watch them. And I love to watch those dogs work. And it's just so cool to me how they get those dogs to do what they do in those competitions, and I really want to go and watch that. I want to try to check out more of the row crop, maybe make it to the peanut harvest part of it. I haven't been able to do that in years. It's been a long time since I've been able to get to the peanut harvest part. And I mean, I'll still walk around, but I'm not going to walk around to every booth and do equipment shots and look at everything like I've been at. I'm just not going to do that. I'm just going to go. I'm going to film stuff I think is cool. It's very interesting. If I see a new piece of equipment that I think is really neat, I'll film it. But I think this next time we're kind of wanting to do more stuff for us. I guess be a little selfish. But I am probably going to try to do maybe a meet and greet. Last year I was there for an hour and a half in the AGCO booth. Talked to quite a few people, met a lot of YouTubers, did some collaborative videos there, doing that, and I was supposed to be in front of the hay equipment, and a lot of people missed me, but I ended up in front of the silo, or the grain bin, and next to the new the Fendt Challenger collaboration tractor that Brian's farming videos has. I think it's like, what is it, a 1038 or something like that. It's a large row crop tractor that Challenger come out with. I ended up over there next to it, and a lot of people were looking for me next to the hay equipment, and I missed a lot of people because of that. It was not planned, that's just the way it worked out. I walked over there checking on my son before I was supposed to be there for the meet and greet or whatever, and talk to people, and I ended up talking to 2 or 3 different people over there because they spotted me over there, and I ended up just staying over there talking right there, because everybody, as soon as I get done talking to one person, somebody else would come up, and I ended up talking to them, and I kind of felt bad because I know there's a lot of folks messaging me like, I didn't see you, and I was like, I was there, but I was over here, and the booth was huge. AGCO's booth last year was huge, and it was easy to get lost. But next year, if I don't know how things are going to go or what we got planned, but my intent is to be next to the round baler or the 1840 square baler. It's probably what I'll. And I still have not ever, I don't even think I've ever shown the babies yet. I need to make a video with them in it and let y'all see my 2 babies. My little boy and my little girl. I don't think I've ever even showed them. I don't even remember if I showed the house getting finished, but we had it was on a fun experience at the hospital. I haven't talked about this yet, but it was that I know of. I don't really remember if I mentioned this or not. It's been so long, but they had a lot of fluid on their lungs when they were born. They had to go in the NICU. We could not see them. We literally got to see them for like 2 or 3 minutes after they were born, and then we didn't get to see them for a while. My son, we didn't get to see him. I think it was we didn't get to bring him home for a week, and we had to go, I think it was 4 days without seeing him. My daughter, we got to see her and take her home when we were discharged, but we were there for 4 days, so we didn't get to see her for a couple days, and it was not fun. There was parents in there that hadn't seen their kids in months, that were born premature, and they had been in the NICU that long, and they could not even go in and see them because of COVID. And I could not imagine more of a nightmare scenario than having a child. And I've seen parents and talked to parents that had their child and then did not get to even see their child for 2 or 3 months. And then they were finally getting to come in to get their baby and get to go home while we were there. And it was that, I could not imagine anything worse than that. That is just awful to do to the parents. And then it was not a fun, pleasant experience whatsoever. But they're both doing good. They're both really healthy. They're both perfectly happy, healthy, fat little babies. My son, he's a little chunky guy. It took him a week or 2 weeks for his 2-week checkup. He was nearly a pound or several ounces less than my daughter, and within 2 weeks after we got him home, he passed her in weight. And he has not looked back since. I mean, my wife calls him little chunky boy, and he's a little chunky, little chubby little guy, and he's always smiling, he's always happy. My daughter is a little mischievous one. She is going to be my troublemaker, I can already tell, and she knows how to work it too already, even at 6 months old. She can work the tears and the crying and trying to get her way already. They are already fighting over baby toys. She'll roll over if she sees her brother with something that she wants and take it from him, and then he goes to crying. And he tries to hang on to it, but she winds up and wins out. She's the real mobile, active one. So they are definitely a sight for sure. But we are very happy to have them. And I will tell you this, having twins, you think that you have an idea of how hard it'll be to have twins. You have no idea. It is a lot harder than you would think just having two would be comparison to one. You would think, well, it'd be just the double of everything. It's worse than that. It's very it's very exhausting, to say the least, because as soon as one gets done crying, the other one starts crying. As soon as one wakes up, then the other one will wake up, and it's never you never really get a break, I guess you could say. There's always a something going on, and bless my wife's heart, she stays at home now. She quit her job, she's staying at home and taking care of them, and she has her hands full while I'm at work. So thank y'all for watching. Please comment, rate, subscribe, and we will see you next time.